Well, good morning, Kensington. We're so glad you guys are with us today. Today we're going to have a chance to hear stories about the life change of Jesus Christ and his transforming power through baptism. So we want to celebrate the risen King right now. Would you guys join us? Come on, stand up. Here we go. We got a lot to celebrate. It wasn't for nothing that you shed your blood. Oh, I'm gonna live like my shame is gone. I won't be shackled to the way I was. Oh, I'm gonna live like my chains are gone. Gone. Now my sin is dead and gone, and I sing hallelujah. Shout like the battle's won. Hey, fall back, devil, 'cause your time is up. Oh, I'm gonna live like the stone is gone. Gone. Now my sin is dead and gone, and I sing hallelujah. Yeah. Done, done. He is risen, it is done. Hallelujah. Hey, how great the power of the blood. Oh, 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 oh. I am the righteousness of God. Oh, 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 oh.
Doing this morning. You can stay on your feet. We're gonna keep singing, but before we do, many of you guys know we're doing baptisms today, and we just wanted to start the day with the story of life change, and we're so thankful that you're here with us. And I have Avalon, who's getting baptized today, right here. Let me hear it for Avalon. And she also has a small army with her in support, which we all need in our life. But Avalon's just gonna go ahead and share her story before she gets baptized. We're gonna keep singing. So here you go.
In the past, I've had some poor choices and things I regret. I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety for almost a full year, and I met someone through mutual friends that comes to Edge. So I decided to come one day. I've been to youth groups, but none of them really made me feel anything. I went to the Wild Retreat, and that's the first time I really felt him. The night after large group, I cried a lot because I have never felt so loved and comforted by people I barely even knew. I have never felt so free, and that carried on the whole weekend. These people have showed me how to let him in, and I've been so happy ever since. In times I need help, I text Elizabeth or I talk to God because I know he's always there.
Come on, it's awesome. Very cool.
Decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, keep clapping. We got to keep clapping that one. That was so good. We are so glad you're with us today. We have a day of gratitude ahead of us. And I know some of us might not be walking in right now in that space because sometimes holidays and situations are challenging and they're hard, but he is who he says he is in the midst of all of it. So we're so glad you're with us as we celebrate baptism. But have a seat. So glad you're here today. My name's Kim and I am part of the Orion campus team around this big, fun, crazy place we call Kensington. And we're so glad you're with us today. So possibly today is your very first day walking in our doors, and for some of those people, you might be still on M24, so we're just going to pray for all of them right now because we understand the challenge, but we're so glad you're here. And we do have a place in our lobby, and it's called The Hub. And The Hub is a team of amazing volunteers who are here to really help people get connected in. So if today is your first day and you want to find out more about this place, we would love to have a conversation with you. There's some great volunteers out in the lobby wearing some orange t-shirts. Mark is out there today leading that crew, so way to go, Mark. And we have a gift for you. Love to get some information so we can connect with you at another time. Or maybe Kensington has been your home for a little bit and you have a question about something that's coming up. Kensington, that is your spot as well. The Hub is your place to go. One-stop shopping, all things Kensington. And if they can't answer your question, we will most definitely find somebody who can, and we will get back in touch with you. So we're so glad you're here. So speaking of Thanksgiving, who was here yesterday for the fabulous fun that took place here for Thanksgiving baskets? Let's give it up for that. Oh, let's clap louder. It was such a fun day. So Kensington has been doing Thanksgiving baskets for 25 years, which is pretty awesome right there, right? We did 365 baskets from this campus alone. Come on, that's awesome. So that was all partnered with our school partners. You can see some of the pictures coming up. This place was packed and just buzzing. Every single one of those baskets was prayed over before it left this building for those families who were going to receive those. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful day of young and old, families, singles, everyone coming together to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Because yeah, we can come here and we can sing songs and we can have fun, but what we do outside these doors is really what speaks. So grateful for everybody who stepped into that. Thanksgiving, it's like Thursday. Who can believe that? Anybody else shocked? Because it's coming super fast. I don't know. But we're all gathering here on Wednesday night for a special midweek service. We're calling it a worship night, a Thanksgiving Eve worship night. And we would love for all of you to come back and join us. Really just a night for us to sit and be grateful for all of the blessings in our lives and all the things as we head into this next year. There'll be a time of sharing, a time of worship, and we'd love for you to be with us here at 7 o'clock. So right after Thanksgiving, this year it feels super fast. We're already talking Christmas, people. I don't even know how it's possible, but it is possible. So as we start thinking Christmas at Kensington, I would love for you to check out this video, and then I'll give you some more information.
You want stuffing?
Hey.
Or is here?
Hey.
Ooh, yes. Oh, I do.
Did you do the potatoes? Thank you.
Are they delicious?
So good.
The
So
mashed
good.
potatoes are so good.
So good.
Who's there?
Where's the tree?
All right, who is that?
Where's the tree?
Santa?
We usually put the tree up after Thanksgiving.
I think you're a little early.
Would you like some turkey?
Well, since I'm here, I might as well, huh?
How about the leg?
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Wow. This is wonderful. Where's the rest of the food?
So that is where we're heading for Christmas this year. Like I said, it feels like it's coming up super fast this year with Thanksgiving being so late. And we are talking this year about perfect timing. He came at the perfect time for all of us with the perfect plan. So Christmas services, we are gonna have 11 right here at this campus. I don't even know how many for all the campuses, but you can get Christmas tickets online at kensingtonchurch.org/Christmas. And yes, of course, the tickets are free. We just wanna know when you're coming so we can accommodate all our guests as best as possible. So we'll be doing 5 services on the 22nd, and then we're taking a day off on the 23rd, and then we will have 6 services here on the 24th for Christmas Eve. One of those being our ever popular 11 p.m. Christmas service, and I will be wearing pajamas. I'm just letting you know. So feel free to wear yours. But we are so glad you're here. And guys, you know what? We do still have people coming in our doors. And because we have baptism today, we have a ton of guests. We're actually inviting in our breakaway students. They're gonna come sit back in this corner with us and be a part of the service today, which is super cool. So I really need everybody to stand up, crunch yourselves in so we can make room for those that are walking in the door. I'm gonna start calling people out here in a minute. Like, I don't know these people. Yeah, I'm not gonna point people out and make you move, but we would love it. We want as many people in these seats as possible. So stand up, say hello to somebody, crunch towards the middle so we can make room for those that are getting in our doors. Thanks for being here. We'll keep going in a minute.
So, I'm not really a religious person. Never really have been. But I've always wanted to learn more. I would love to believe in Jesus. It's not that I flat out don't, I'm just super skeptical. Hi everyone, I'm Melissa. I'm 35 years old, a mother to 3 beautiful little girls, and a wife to an awesome guy. Welcome to my blog. Pretty open book in, most aspects of my life. So I don't know why I felt this awkwardness or almost like embarrassment to share this aspect of my life. But I feel that once I did, once I put it all on social media and I'm just like, let's be open, let's be vulnerable, let's just see what happens. I just want to be like completely authentic. This is not like the first time I've tried to seek the truth or my answers or God, Jesus, anything. I've been struggling this honestly since high school. Everything that is going on nowadays makes it even harder to know where to turn for sources on this stuff. I don't know. Anyone have any advice? Ideas? I got 151 responses. And do you know of those 151 responses, how many were negative? 0. But there were 2 things that really stood out in those comments. Number 1, oh my gosh, Melissa, that's exactly how I feel. Oh my gosh, I'm going through that same thing. Please let me know what you find out. Blah, blah, blah. There's other seekers like me. And the other one was, check out Kensington, check out Kensington, check out Kensington. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, I'm not kidding you, at least 35 comments were, go to Kensington. One of my friends actually goes to the Troy campus. Actually, she's like, Melissa, I'm telling you, message the lead pastor of the Troy campus, Danny Cox, and see if he'll meet with you. He's awesome. You know, you might be really encouraged by talking to him. So I emailed him. I explained basically my life story to him. And I was like, can we meet for a couple minutes?
When I first met her, Melissa, I was taken with her right away because that's my journey. I saw myself in her. I had so many questions about Christ.
It took him, he said, 3 years to find Christ in his 30s. So I think, my gosh, if Danny Cox, the lead pastor of a large church, if it took him 3 years to find Christ, then you know what? I can do it too. The first service I went to at Kensington was the summer of 2018, and they were doing a series called Kensington at the Movies.
Today, we're going to continue on in this series by looking at Black Panther.
And the one I went to was on Black Panther. And Andrew Kim was preaching, and the message was amazing, and it totally hit home because he talked about the Mahatma Gandhi quote, I like your Christ, but I do not like your Christians.
Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. And when you hear that, it's like, ouch. That hurts, that cuts deep.
And I'm like, whoa. And the fact that Kensington recognized that, especially like on my first time there, it was really refreshing because I feel that a lot of churches just sweep that kind of stuff under the rug. Truthfully, the biggest issue I struggle with is Jesus really the Son of God? Another big question I have is there life after death? And it's really refreshing to know that here at Kensington, like, I'm not alone. Everybody doubts. Even like the Pope and Mother Teresa, they've had doubts. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Like, that makes me feel so good. So I've done a lot through Kensington. The first thing I did was I joined a course, Alpha. It just really made me open my eyes and think about things in ways I never had before. I went on a women's retreat through Kensington in the spring called Smash. I literally did all the workshops I could because I thought, you know what? I'm here by myself. I know no one. I'm here to learn.
All right, little girl, are you ready to go?
And she's amazing. And just everybody I've come in contact with, not even the people who work here, just like the people that attend the service. I've met 1 million people here that have been amazing. Nancy Worm, she's sort of like a mentor to me, and she's amazing.
She said, I'm turning 35. I need to answer this question. I need to figure out my faith, not just for myself, but for my family now. And I don't want to wait any longer. This is the year I'm going to learn everything I need to make this decision. Having that mission has really spurred her on to take step after step after step to answer the questions that she has. She wants to land this.
My heart is open and exploding. I feel so happy. Do I still identify as a seeker? Yes. My brain needs to catch up with my heart. I'm still in the beginning stages, maybe on like mile 10 of my 100-mile walk or whatever. But it doesn't bother me. I think once you take that leap of faith, once you take that leap and you jump off and you start your journey, you don't really care when it ends. You hear churches a lot, or people on the news or on TV, they have a lot of these aha moments when coming to Christ. But what I've learned is most people that find Christ, it's not this big aha moment. It's these little tiny things over the years. And I feel like that's me. I look at where I am now and I look at where I was like a year and a half ago, and I'm night and day difference, and it's amazing. My brain, the walls are coming down more, but it hasn't quite collapsed yet like I'd like it to. Does this blog resonate with you? Are you seeking? Come take this journey with me. They say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Take that first step. You will never regret the journey.
I remember that first meeting I had with Melissa. We met in the lobby and we sat down together, and she was so intense. She was searching for truth. We had a great conversation. I recommended one particular book. I think I actually even gave it to her, and she took it home and she wrote back and she's like, no, not this kind of book. I'm looking for this. So I gave her another one and she read through that, and it's been like that ever since. She is on a mission to find out who this person of Jesus is. And what I love about her, and I think it's true for all of us, we have questions and we have doubts about faith. Even myself, to this day, I still have questions and doubts, and I don't think God is up in heaven wringing his hands going, I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure what to do with that doubt. God knows. And what I love about our community is that we are creating a space where people can come in with their doubts, with their questions, and engage with Jesus and with his people. And so this year, I would invite you to make a year-end Christmas gift to Kensington. And as you do that, I want you to know something. You are investing in a space where people can bring all they have in their heart and present it to Jesus. And here's what I know about Jesus. After watching work for so long in our community, he will take our questions, he will take our doubts, he will draw us into himself, and he will transform lives.
What a great story with Melissa, and I love that it's not even done yet. You know, a lot of times at church you hear the end of the story, and she's still in this journey, and we're a part of that. You're a part of that. This community is a part of that, and you know what Danny said at the end is really true. I don't know if we ever really understand that when you and I really want to say you, when you serve, when you feel the nudge of God's Holy Spirit to move and move out. In fact, we're starting a series next week called Brave. And Brave is all about this. When you're brave enough to obey God and what he's calling you to do, what he's calling you to say, who he's calling you to serve, things happen. And so you think about that. You just watched the story. Just one person of thousands of people here at Kensington, at one of our other campuses primarily, whose life has been impacted because you and many like you have heard God speak and moved. I mean, I was here yesterday morning when all the Thanksgiving baskets and people were going into Pontiac and areas around here and literally blessing people with a meal that they probably wouldn't be able to have unless you and I financially gave and then also went and served. And I said to them yesterday morning, I said, don't just hand them a basket and walk away. Listen to God. If he wants you to speak life into their life, speak life. That's being brave and taking a risk. And Melissa's story is because of people like you following God. And here's what the other thing that often we miss. And Danny said at the end, but I don't think we understand this. When you and I give financially, that's what happens. Tens of thousands of stories like that happen when the offering comes by later, or if you're like me, you're getting emails right now. Have you gotten them about year-end Christmas gifts to all kinds of wonderful charities? And they're wonderful charities, but you have to do what I have to do. I have to make a choice. Where am I going to give a year-end gift to? And we're just saying, man, we hope you consider Kensington one of those year-end gifts because that's the kind of stuff that happens. And there's a lot more things but that's just one thing that happens. And so as we walk into, this week is Thanksgiving, right? You guys all ready for Thanksgiving? I actually, you are? That's good. I actually had Thanksgiving yesterday because I'm going to Denver for Thanksgiving with my middle son, Austin, and my 4 grandkids. And if you know our story very well, you're thinking you should say 3 grandkids in Denver. Nope, I now have 4. We had a new baby delivered last week. Now, here's how this baby came. It's a foster baby who's the brother of Austin and Kendall's other son that they are in the process of adopting. They just got a call from the hospital. That birth mom just had Holden's brother. Do you want him? And they picked him up 2 hours later. So now there's 4 in that house, and we get to go out there and celebrate Thanksgiving. So it's pretty awesome, yeah. So we're excited. And I don't know if you know, for 33 years, my Thanksgivings were on the sidelines of a Lions loss. That's where I was. And so I'd come home late, and we do Thanksgiving later. So we did Thanksgiving with Cody and his his family and CJ and their his wife at our house yesterday, and then we're going to do it again in 3 days. So Thanksgiving is this beautiful time of year where we stop for one day and we give thanks. And we tell jokes. I told some jokes yesterday to the crew that was going out. You remember my jokes? I went home and tried those jokes on Ann. She was not very impressed. I'm like, honey, I want to tell you some Thanksgiving jokes. She's like, if you tell me another Thanksgiving joke, please stop. And I go, I can't stop that quick or I'd have to go cold turkey. Did you get that one? And then I start walking around. I said, you know what you need to sing when you're making this turkey? There's a song you need to sing. It's all about that bass. Anyway, all right, here we go. Enough of that. So here's all I want to do is I want to take just 20 minutes, and then we're going to celebrate the rest of the day of baptism. It's going to be a beautiful day. First service was just unbelievable, actually. It's one of the best things we do on a weekend at Kensington in the year. And we do it in the summer at Stony Creek, and we get to do it inside today. And I got to be honest with you. Some of you came today not thinking you're going to get baptized. You're going to get baptized. You're going to decide during this message or during this service, today's my day, and that's okay. You can come up. You're going to go home wet and freezing, but it's okay. It's really warm out from what I hear. No, I mean, we'll give you some clothes to be able to go home with, but it's okay today to walk up and get baptized. We have a prayer team up here. Just come up and tell us your story, and we'll jump you in here. But here's the thing. When you think about Thanksgiving, I love this holiday, but it's one day. Isn't it interesting? It's one day. You give thanks on Thursday. Yeah, you watch the Lions do whatever they're going to do. Probably not good. And then you go on your life. I came up with a phrase a couple years ago. I bet you don't remember me talking about it, but I like it better than Thanksgiving. I think it shouldn't be just one day. I think it should be thanks living. You get it? It's like, what if I lived thankful? Not just Thursday, but Friday. Who can be thankful on Black Friday? I don't know, but you know, what would happen if it would be every day? That my life would be a life of thanks living. That's a whole different mentality, a different way to think. In fact, I don't know if you think about this, but it's really easy in most of our lives to complain. It's not as easy to give thanks. I don't know if you've ever thought about this. When you have little kids, and I've got some grandkids now, right? Do you have to teach them to complain? No, it just comes natural. Where do they get that from? You. They get that from their parents. And we got it from our parents. I mean, it's just like complaining is in the human DNA. Things can be great, and you still hear people complain. What do you have to teach little kids to say? Somebody gives them something, you say what? Say thank you. Why do you have to teach them that? Because they don't get that naturally, and neither do you. And neither do I. Thanks living is a choice. It's a choice. You have to choose to live thankful. It's just not normal. But if we step back, and that's what I want to help you do today, let's step back for a second and think about our lives, because our lives are incredibly blessed. I got off the phone walking down the hallway right before our first service with one of my best friends, John, whose dad is literally breathing his last breath right now in a hospital in Petoskey. They took him off life support last night and said he'll be dead in 5 minutes. And it's been about 14, 15, 16 hours later. His blood pressure's below 50. It's just a matter of time. But as I hung up from John, who's losing his dad, I was thinking this. Have you forgot, like me, that this very breath right there is a gift? That's a gift from God. And do we take it for granted? Yep. We get up every day and we go and we complain about our lives. I know you do it what I do often when I drive into this campus. I complain about the traffic. Anybody do that today? What am I doing on Lapeer Road for 15 minutes trying to go to church? I've done that. I have done that. I know there are people that did it one time and said, I'm not coming back. I said that to our staff 3 weeks ago. I said, we had a really high number. Everybody's going to go like this, and I'm going to go, I bet they don't come back. And a lot haven't, because they're like, I will not do that again. I'll just watch it on live stream. I get it, and we're going to fix that, baby. We're going to help make that better. We're working on it. But here's the thing. It is so easy to complain rather than be thankful. I actually have to wait to get into a church. That's a good thing. Seriously, that's a good thing. But I mean, think about life. The breath you're taking this very second should not be taken for granted. It's a gift. And we need to stop, not just one day a year. We should stop every day, maybe every hour, maybe every 10 minutes, and go, thank you. I am not taking this day or this hour or this morning for granted. I am not taking this woman or this man in my life for granted. I'm not taking these kids for granted. And I know you're sitting around people right now. The person sitting beside you is a gift from God. And some of you are going, you don't know her. Yes, she's a gift from God. He's a gift from God. Your kids are a gift from God. Your parents are a gift from God. Your grandparents, if they're alive, they're a gift from God. I bet you, if you're like me, you just go through life, you complain rather than say thank you. And when you stop and say thank you, it changes not only yourself, but the people who say thank you to. You know, when our boys were little, we every year took them to Cedar Point. Every year. And I'm not saying parents, you should do what we did, but we did it while Ohio schools were still in school. Right? And so that meant we had to take our kids out of school for a day. I'm not saying do this, parents, don't send me emails. This is terrible you did this. But we would skip one day of school and go to Cedar Point during this week because nobody's there on that day because all the Ohio kids are in school and we do that, right? Cody was sitting here the first service, my son. I said, Cody, you remember when we put tissue paper in your shoes so you could be tall enough to make the things? I'm not saying do that either, but we did. All right? You're like, you're our pastor? Yeah, okay. So that was one time. Next year he's tall enough. But anyway. So we would go every year, and here's how the day would go. Parents, you know what I'm talking about? A lot of money spent, more money than you can imagine to get in one day at Cedar Point. It just keeps rising every day, and you got 3 kids, plus you're right. You got to be kidding me, right? Food, long lines, traveled over to Sandusky, Ohio, right? Anybody like me, you're complaining half the time you're there? Anybody? Come on, it's church. Okay, you're not going to admit it, but you have. And so you get home, and I remember we get home and get our minivan, we get them in, they're all asleep, you know, we sort of carry them up to the bed, put them in it, and just go, And the whole time I'm sort of whining and complaining because I don't like spending money, and my wife, you know, Ann, she's like, this is so much fun, this is great, this is a memory, we're never gonna forget. I'm like, settle down, right? So I'll never forget one year, I mean, my oldest CJ must have been, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. Put them all to bed. I went into our bedroom and was getting ready for bed and went into the bathroom and taking care of business, okay? Good enough, right? So I'm in there for a little bit and there's sort of a knock on the door, but it's not locked, and I'm thinking, what is Ann doing? And so the door opens and CJ just sticks his head in. He goes, hey, Dad, just want to say thanks. It's a really great day, appreciate it, thanks. And he was gone. And then I was like, oh, it was a great day, that was awesome. You know, I mean, I could not believe how my mood shifted from complain, money, to that was a memory we'll never forget because of one thank you. Now let me ask you something. Do you think our Heavenly Father feels that good when his children stop and say thanks? I think he does. And I think it's really good if we do it more than one day a year. What if it was thanks living? I'm gonna live thankful. And that's an attitude that you have to choose because it's not based on how good or bad our life is going. You can rise above the circumstances in your life and choose thanks living. Let me show you a passage that I find really interesting because Paul wrote this from a prison cell. So you got this man writing a letter to a church in Philippi, a church that he started in a city called Philippi. It's called the book of Philippians. The last chapter, he just gets into some stuff and he talks about being thankful. And if you think of where he is, you're like, this dude of all people shouldn't be thankful. He's been beaten up. He's been left for dead. He's been persecuted. Now he's in prison. And he's saying this. Look at what he says. He says in verse 10, I rejoiced greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. You know what he's talking about here? He's talking about a financial gift that they gave to his ministry. What's he saying? Thanks. I'm really happy and overjoyed that you took care of me. I really appreciate that. He says this. I am not saying this because I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content. And by the way, every time you hear the word content here, you could use the word gratitude or thankful. I've learned to be thankful whatever the circumstances. And then he's going to explain what he means by that. He says, I know what it is to be in need. Trust me, he's been poor, he's been in prison, he's been beaten up, left for dead, he's been shipwrecked. And I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret. I highlighted that because we're going to talk about that. I've learned the secret of being content or thankful in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Now, some of you have been around church world very long. You've heard that last phrase before. It's quoted quite often. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. How many heard that? Yeah, that's verse 13. What we often don't understand, and we talked about this a little bit a few weeks ago when we went through the Bible series. Remember, Cody was talking about you need to interpret Scripture correctly. You can't just grab that verse and say, I can do all things through Christ and apply it to anything you want. I'm going to win the Super Bowl because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I see what you're trying to say there, but that's not what Paul meant. Paul meant something different. I'll show you in a minute. But if you go back, here's all I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a couple principles and practices based on thanks living or this passage, and they're all right from the passage. And the first one would be this: our gratitude is not dependent on our circumstances. Our gratitude is not dependent on our circumstances. Now, here's the thing. We think it is. I'd be thankful if I was married. And all the married people think, I'd be thankful if I was married to somebody else. Anyway, I get it, right? But we all do that. I'd be thankful if I had kids, or I'd be thankful if, we can do that, and I get it. But here's the thing. Thanks living is a choice. So whether you have a lot, like Paul said, or you have nothing, or things are going well, or things are really, if you're really struggling right now, can you have contentment and thankfulness? Yes. How? You have to choose it. And he says at the end, by the way, you can't choose it apart from Christ. I can do all things through Christ. He's talking about contentment. He's talking about thanks living. He's not talking about benching 400 pounds. I've stood over guys who say, I can do all things through Christ, and they're lifting weights. I go, okay, dude, I get it. I'm glad you know a Bible verse, but he's thinking much bigger than lifting some weights. He's thinking, I can be thankful. I can be satisfied even when things aren't going well. That's something you and I can't manufacture in our own strength. In fact, it's interesting. If you go online, I don't know if you knew you can do this. You can actually look up definitions of words online. Who knew? I grew up in a day you had to get a dictionary and open it up. Now you just type in the word, and it says this: thankful is aware and appreciative of a benefit. Grateful. Notice that. You got to be aware. You got to see it. We often don't even see it. I bet you didn't think about today that you're alive because you've been given a breath by God. That's awareness, like, oh my gosh, I forgot. And appreciative of a benefit. Look at the definition of content. Happy enough with what one has or is, not desiring something more or different. Satisfied. We live in a world of dissatisfaction. Think about this. In America, we are some of the richest people in the world. And I know you're thinking, yeah, but I don't. We are some of the richest people, wealthiest in the world. If you have a mode of transportation and you have a meal that you're not having to worry about, you're in the top 5% of the world. And yet over 50% of Americans say they lay in bed at night and dream about being rich. We are rich. We should lay in bed at night and dream about being content, satisfied with what we have. But yet it's in us, right? It's like we're not satisfied. My son, CJ, was over yesterday, and Cody, and as we were finishing the night, CJ and Robin are getting ready to leave, and CJ looks at my TV, and CJ is the tech guy in our family. He bought that TV. I mean, I bought it, but he told me, this is the TV you want. I'll order it for you, Dad. Boom. HDMI cords show up at my house. CJ ordered them. You need this, Dad. He's that guy, right? And so he looks at my TV last night, and he goes, Dad, it's time for a new TV. We're watching a football game. I'm like, what are you talking about? This thing's awesome. When did we get that? He goes, it's been 8 years. I go, 8 years is not the end of a TV. He goes, it's not even 4K. It's not 4K. You can't even see things. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, what are you talking about? See ya. So he leaves, and I go get my Coke, and I lay down on my couch, and I turn on the game, and I'm like, I can't even see the ball. This TV sucks. This thing's like bad. Anybody ever done that? I mean, I'm literally laying there. 5 minutes ago, I was satisfied and content. Now I'm not thankful, and I'm dissatisfied. I'm like, honey, we need a TV. She goes, what? I think we need a new one and bigger and brighter and 4K-ish, whatever, OLED, that stuff. How much is that gonna cost? I don't know, but I can't live with this anymore. That's the world we live in. Isn't that crazy? Our gratitude is not dependent on our circumstances. It doesn't matter if you have a lot or a little, you're gonna have to make a choice. I'm okay. And here's the thing. We live in a world, don't we, where discontent reigns. You go on Amazon, isn't this amazing now? You look at some product, and as you scroll down, think about what they're doing to you, you see other people that looked at what you're looking at bought this. How many know what I'm talking about? And other people that are buying what you bought bundled it with these three things. It's only $4,086 more, pink. And you're fine, like, I'm just looking at this, and you're like, oh, and there's discontent. And we're not grateful or content or thankful. We're like, I need that too. And then you get it, and what happens? It doesn't work. Because the discontent you have in your life is not physical, it's spiritual. And so gratitude or thanks living is not dependent on our circumstances. I've shared this here before, but almost 20 years ago, I took my first trip to Kenya. to Africa. Don Anderson sitting right over there. He's our global director. He took Steve Andrews and I took CJ, my 13 or 14-year-old son, and Steve took his daughter. And so we go over there with all these guys, and we see what's happening with our second global partner. It became with Kenya and Julius, and we're in the bush. I mean, we're in the dirt. You think the roads in Michigan are bad? See, you complain, don't you? You complain about them. You should be thankful, because those roads break axles. It's unbelievable, and you're on them forever, and we go out in the bush. You know all the Hope water? That's where the wells go. They save thousands of people. Don, how many dollars have we raised for Hope Water? Over $3 million you gave to save lives where I was. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, you can give that a hand. It's unbelievable. And you can keep giving, because you literally are saving lives. You don't even know it, but you're literally saving lives, because water is life there. Anyway, long story short is I'm there, and here's the thing. I remember we got to this little bunkhouse where they had little bunks, and we brought twin mattresses in for the kids because they had no mattresses. These little boys and girls. And it's my first time there, and I'm looking, and I see this little nail beside the bed, and there's like a pair of shorts, like a gym shorts, and a T-shirt. And I say to somebody, I go, what is that? And they go, well, that's all their possessions are on that nail. I go, what do you mean? Everything they own hangs on that nail. And there's usually just a pair of shorts and a T-shirt. And it's an American T-shirt. I'm like, everything they own is, yep, everything they own. And here's the thing. And any of you have been there, know I'm speaking the truth. They are full of so much joy. You've never seen anything like it. When they sing worship songs, they sing. There's no sitting, there's dancing, there's hands raised. They are belling it out at the top of their lungs, because they are so grateful to their God to be alive. They know the love of Jesus. They know how Jesus provides for them, and they worship. It's embarrassing. Compare ours to that. It's just like, oh my goodness. And I remember I went over one boy, and I couldn't speak Swahili. I couldn't speak his language. I want to say, you can't be happy. You don't have enough to be happy. How can you be happy? And I know what he would say to me, because I saw it. I'm happy because I have strength in Christ who strengthens me. That's where my joy comes from. It's not going to come from a T-shirt hanging on one nail. And I come back here and I'm thinking, am I ever going to again complain that my master bathroom is not big enough? Notice what I said. Master bedroom has a bath. It's not big enough. And I thought, how can I not find joy? Because I need a bigger. And they find it and they have nothing. See, joy and thanksgiving is not dependent on what you have or don't have. It's not dependent on your circumstances. It's dependent on a choice to be grateful. Here's the practice I would encourage you to put in tomorrow. Wake up tomorrow morning and say thanks before you do anything else. I'd encourage you to do it on your knees. Say, God, this day is a gift. Some of you have lost loved ones in the last month or year. You know how precious life is. Your life is a gift. Don't take it for granted. And you can have a good day even in bad times if you understand thanksgiving is a choice. Second one, gratitude is an attitude we learn, not a thing we achieve. Remember what Paul said? He said, I've learned the secret of being content. What's he saying? He says, this isn't something that comes when you have stuff or don't have stuff. This is a secret. I'm telling you, every person needs to learn the secret. How do we learn the secret that I'm content or satisfied, or I can lay my head on a pillow at night and go, I'm good, even when I'm going through really hard stuff. Or I can lay my head on a pillow at night when God has blessed me in incredible ways. Either way, it doesn't matter. My contentment, my thanksgiving is a choice that I've learned in good times and bad times. How does that happen? It happens, as I said at the end, he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I hope you never misunderstand that verse from now on. He's talking about contentment or thanksgiving in hard times and in good times. I can do all things through Christ. How do you do that? You learn the secret. I got to fly. Here's the next one. Third one, prosperity does not have the power to make us thankful, nor poverty the power to take it away. Boy, write this one down. Take a picture of it or whatever. This is so true. Prosperity or good times or money or blessings in our life do not have the power to make us thankful. I've already said that, by the way. If my life is better, then I'd be thankful. Nor poverty, when I lose everything or things don't go the way I want, doesn't have the power to take away. Why? Because I've learned the secret, which is I can do all things how? Through the power of Christ in me. That's the beauty of this whole thing. It's like it doesn't have it. He says in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or want, I have learned the secret of being content. So I'm saying all this today. So I hope when you walk out here today, We are a community of people, whether things are going well or things aren't going well. And I know, trust me, I know when things are not going well and you've lost a loved one or you've just gotten really horrible news, I know it's not like, oh, I just got brand new pain. Thank you. I know it's not like that. It's extremely difficult. But I also know people. I'm looking at one of them right now that is even thankful when a grandchild dies. Even thankful in the middle of a health crisis. I mean, I could just go on. How is that possible? Only through Christ, who gives us strength. And so here's the thing. I said in this point, prosperity can't make us thankful and poverty can't take it away. So I thought, to illustrate that, let's take the offering right now. Now think about what I'm doing. When we take the offering, we give money away. Why wouldn't we do that? Well, here's the thing. In our mind, we're like, no. If I want to be happy and content, I need to hold on to all of this. And God says, no. You actually need to learn that I am the one that makes you content. Give some away. And I'm not doing that to try and get you to give. You make any decision you want to give or not give. That's your decision. But I want you and I to know this. We live under a lie that makes us think that if I have a bunch, I can be thankful. If I don't, I won't. And the truth is the most generous people are the most contented and happy people. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in millions of others. You can't even explain it, but when they let go, God fills with a joy that's hard to express. And so many of us give through this pouch, but most of us do what I do. We just give online. So if you'd like to join us, that's how you can do it. It's a very simple thing. And as we do that, let me read you a story, and then we're gonna hear a couple more stories as we dunk some people. Hey, let me say this about baptism. Baptism is this amazing gratitude moment. That's what it is. It's a visual symbol. There's nothing, spiritual that's going to happen in this water. It's just water, but it's a visual symbol. What spiritually has happened in somebody's life is my old life is done, and just as Christ was raised from the dead, I've been raised to new life. That's what this move means, and it's a move of gratitude. It's like, I am so thankful that God has literally changed my life to a new life. And so it's a beautiful thing. Last year, maybe a year and a half ago, Cody, my son, was preaching on joy. And I remember this story he told, and I thought, man, I'm going to end with this because it's such a beautiful picture of what it means to be thankful in really hard times and how that, well, I'll just read it to you. It's a true story of Naval Admiral William H. McRaven, who was speaking at his alma mater, at his college, when he's talking about lessons he learned while he was a SEAL in his basic SEAL training. And so to become a SEAL, they go through this incredible training. In fact, he said it this way. He said, the 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, one special day at the mud flats, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of that week that you paddle down to the mud flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive the freezing cold mud, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man until there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. 5 guys say, I'm done, you're out. Just 5 men and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours until the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and shivering moans of the trainees were so loud it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. We knew that if one man could rise above the misery, then others could as well. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing. But the singing persisted. And he ends it this way. He says, and somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. It's this beautiful story. When a group of men are going through a trial together, one of them decides to be thankful. And you can't be thankful in this situation. It's impossible. But he decides to be thankful, and he utters out a song. Here's the thing about thanks living. It's contagious. You hear me? It's contagious. See, when you get around a bunch of complainers, don't you find yourself complaining? Or if you get about a bunch of complainers and somebody says, yeah, but aren't you thankful for this? Everybody's like, no. But as they keep thinking and help you to step back and go, yeah, but you're alive. Yeah, but you're breathing. Yeah, but some people didn't get to see the sunrise today, and you did. As far as we know, you're going to get tomorrow, and you have a meal waiting for you tonight. You're not worried about where the water's going to come from or the steak. It's like you step back and go, yeah, I can be thankful. And that spreads. And that's what the church should be. A community of thanks-living people. And so as we go into baptisms, you're going to hear some stories. And this first one is a tragic story. And yet a very beautiful story that you and I need to hear and celebrate as we get to sing together, and then you'll hear story after story, and you'll watch people getting dunked. So Cody, come on and jump on in.
So this morning, we have a special, unique baptism from Deborah. She's actually getting baptized in the place of someone else. So why don't you go ahead and just explain what's going on right here.
The first thing I'd like to say is I was given some words this morning. And it was thankfulness takes the sting out of adversity. My granddaughter, Alexandria, came over on November 12th to have me help her sign up to be baptized. On November 24th, the day after her mother's birthday, and the day before her 14th birthday. She said she wanted to make Jesus the Lord of her life. We watched the video. We prayed and we talked. We discussed the Lord's Prayer with focus on what it meant, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. She asked me how you could let people know and believe in Jesus. I told her it was not what you said, but how you live. People will see the change in you and want what you have. Little did I know that this would be our last discussion. Less than 2 hours later, she was killed in a tragic snowmobile accident. God put it on my heart that I needed to stand for her as a witness and be baptized in her place as her public declaration that Jesus was the Lord of her life. She lived life to the fullest. She was a blessing to many lives and will truly be missed by all who love her. I know where she is, and it is my greatest comfort to know that she is with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Rest in peace, my blessed granddaughter. And these are her words. I needed someone to go to when things weren't easy in life, and I knew I couldn't do some stuff alone, and I needed him. I wasn't the best person I could be, or the happiest, until I decided to follow him, and everything changed.
So we're going to go ahead and baptize you in place of Alexandria. And I want to say, because I think I haven't met you guys, you're Alexandria's parents. Man, I'm so sorry for what happened, and I hope you know you have a family here to mourn with you, to grieve with you, and who will love you. And even when you read it, one of the things you said, Jesus was the Lord of her life. Jesus still is the Lord of her life, which you know. And I firmly believe, even as my dad was speaking, was praying and just picturing Alexandria with Jesus, that she's not dead, she is alive. And she sees us now. I fully believe that. And thank you for being amazing parents to her and being with us today.
God, that is who you are. Come on, can we stand and sing that together? Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. We sing, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working. You never stop. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working. You never stop. You never stop working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Yes, you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Sing, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are.
Hey, we got Michael Bouchard in there right now. We're baptized. Half our baptisms are middle school, high school kids. It's awesome. And I just want to say, we're going to sing one more song together, Glorious Day, which is I ran out of that tune. That's what this moment's all about. God gives us power to run out of our old life. And if you want to get baptized and you want to decide right now, come right over here, tell our prayer team your story. We'll get you in here before we walk out of here. You got like 5 minutes left, all right? It says last song is to take 5 minutes. What? Got to walk up right here. Got his jeans on, got his shoes off. Come join us. All right, let's sing this song together.
I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my tomb till I met you. Yeah. I was breathing but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. It was my tomb, yeah, come on, till I met you. Sing it, you called my name, come on, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your sing our song of freedom. The old made new. Hey! Jesus, when I met you, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. Come on, put your hands together. I needed rescue, my sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, but you called me a citizen. Come on, you sing. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You call my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. We sing, Waymaker, beautiful, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Come on, we sing it. Yeah, we sing, Waymaker, miracle worker, and promise keeper. Oh my God. Come on, we sing, shout it. Oh, Waymaker, promise keeper. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, beautiful, promise keeper. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper. My God, that is who you are.
All right. Hey, you can still come up if you want. These last 5 or 6 or 10 have been just people walking up. Let me go. Okay. Last one. All right. You keep coming. Keep coming. Hey, I'm going to dismiss you because we're right on time. But hey, come back next week. We got a new series called Brave, but Wednesday night, you don't want to miss it. Thanksgiving Eve, be a wonderful night right here at 7 o'clock. You want to come on up and get baptized? Cody will be in here all day. All right, God bless you. See you next week, or see you Wednesday. All right.